Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome to this channel. I'm Alicia Johnson and this is my YouTube channel, and I am so grateful that you have decided to join me this evening. So, for those of you who are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so glad that you have decided to spend this evening with me. And for those of you who are continuing on with the forgiveness journey, welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for continuing with us. So, this work that we are doing is all about forgiveness. So, this is almost like I like to consider this almost like my gift to the world. I want to give the world forgiveness. I want to give the world the tools that they need to operate in forgiveness, because forgiveness has been such a huge blessing for me in my life. And my responsibility is to share with everyone who chooses. So, for those who are new here, then please subscribe to the channel so that you can get the notifications when we go live, so that you can make sure that you catch us every night. We are now at day 11. So, we have like what 19 more days to go with this work, and so we are in the process, but don't feel like you're behind, because we have the archives there. All of the journaling days are there, so you can feel free to journal. So I am the creator of a community. It's called the 1212 community. And previously it was the Always Journal community. So you may have heard either one of those names. But the basis of the work that we do is to teach people how to recalibrate their lives, 12 hours for God, 12 hours for man. And one of the tools that we use, one of the vehicles that we use to move us through the process is the journal. Now, this journaling work is not your average journaling work, in that it's not like a dear diary or recording the things that you're doing during the day. This work is done and broken down by topics that are designed to move you through the process. And so there are a myriad of ways to journal, but the way that we journal in this community is understanding that there's a part for you to do, a part for God to do, and a part for someone else to do. And so throughout the course of the work, we work through all of these things so that people have the tools that they need in order to move through the process. So we are now at day 11 of this forgiveness work. And tonight, you can follow along, and the assignment, we will go through the assignment, the reason why you need to do the assignment, the benefit, and then we'll go into a brief discussion, so that at the end of the night, as you are closing your day, you can feel free to reflect on the information that you've received. You can journal in your own personal journal, re listen to it, or whatever, however God moves you. But the most important part is that you use the work. Information without revelation is useless. So we give you information, and God will give you the revelation as to why you need the information. And information with revelation without application is a special kind of stupid. So it's very important that you get the information, you allow God to provide you with the revelation, so that you can then begin to apply what you have learned. So I am very, very, very excited about that. So, with that being said, I am so happy that we are now at day 11. So, we are now at forgiving those who made you feel small. Assignment: reread your dedication so that you will remain pinpoint accurate in your journaling focus. Make a list today of every person who made you feel less than, be it a teacher, a friend, a relative, etc. Why? Releasing those who made you feel less than frees you to rise higher. You can only rise as high as you allow someone else to go. Benefit: forgiving those who made us feel small releases us to live bigger than we ever imagined. So many people live for the "I'm going to prove you wrong" moment that they miss the beauty of the true experience. So, tonight we are going to discuss forgiving those who made you feel small. Everything that I teach, everything that I share, everything that we do in this community is work that God has required me to do many, many, many times before heaven ever releases me to share anything with the world. Rest assured that God has raked me over the coals a few times just to make sure that I am solid in my understanding as to what it is that I am required to teach and to share. Being a teacher and sharing information and guiding people through a process, you bear a huge responsibility. And I take this responsibility very seriously. And so, as we are going through this work, know that this work has been proven over and over and over and over again, not only by myself, but by others who have also done the work. One of the things that you have to understand about forgiveness or any of the journaling processes that you go through as it relates to our community, there are levels and layers to the work. And so, just because you have done something one time does not mean that you have the total in-depth understanding of what that thing is. And forgiveness is one of those things. Forgiveness rises in layers. So, for example, when you forgive at one level, that level is cleared away, and that gives the opportunity for everything that's underneath that to rise up even higher. So, do not be so arrogant in thinking that if you have been dealing with a scenario for 20 or 30 years, that one pass at forgiveness is going to cure you or heal you. If it took you, and I get this question a lot as it relates to this work, and we talk a lot about converting your man-made circles into God-made circles, and that's for another discussion. But I get the question a lot now that I'm operating in God's economy, now that I am doing things in a God-made progression, how long is it going to take? And so the first time I got this question, it was funny to me because I had been going through the work at least 10 years at that point. So people trying to rush through and get things done in like 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days does not move me. Okay. I'm not moved by that. And so in my prayer meditation time, I was like, well, God, what answer am I supposed to give them? Like, what answer am I supposed to give people when they ask, how long is it supposed to take? So the answer that I received, and maybe this will help people and to calm you down a little bit as it relates to this work. If you have been stuck in a situation for 5 years, then give God equal time. If you have been stuck in a situation for 10 years, give God equal time. So whatever the amount of time is that you have been um just like churning around in this situation, then give God equal time. And a lot of people get scared when I say that. Oh my God, I've been doing this for like 20 years. I don't have 20 years to take to get this turned around. You do not. That is understandable. And heaven understands that. This is why I constantly teach God is the creator of time. God is not bound by time. And this is why it is so important. It is so important that we understand this. Okay. And so tonight, give yourself the grace to slow down. Give yourself the grace and the space for heaven to do a complete work. Give yourself the opportunity to enjoy the process. Now, forgiving those who make you feel small. And I see the comments here on the side. Y'all, I do not have my glasses on. So I do see y'all in the comments, and I want to say hey to everybody. I think I can read the names, but then I'm like, I think I can read the names. I'm not sure. But I want to say hi to everyone that I can see. I think that's Linda. Hey, Linda. I think that's your name. I think I see Christine. I love my glasses in the other room, and I can't like get up and run and get them. Leslie and Stephanie and Teresa. Hey everybody. Hey, hey, hey. So I'm feeling my way through. So I'm assuming that this is you guys. So I am so excited that you are here. Forgiving those who made you feel small. This was a big problem for me. This was a huge problem for me because at one point in time I was so sensitive and I was so how can I put it? I was so delicate and fragile that anyone who said anything to me, it would how can I put it, trigger me, if you will, or it would make me feel that, maybe there was some legitimate reason or they had a legitimate stance in what they were saying. And so people could do anything or say anything to me, and I would automatically assume that they were right. And the reason that I would do that is because a lot of it was conditioning and the way that I was raised, in the sense that you were taught when I was growing up, you were taught to your elders. You listen to your elders. You did not talk back. You did not disrespect people. So people that were assumingly in authority, people that were older than me, people that I assumed to be my elders, they could say whatever they wanted to say. Even if it did hurt me, I was not in a position per se to say what I wanted to say. And so instead of being able to counter those statements, I would just absorb them and allow those statements to shrink me. And so with those how can I put it? With those restrictions, there came a whole lot of how can I put it? Limitations that I placed on myself. Ooh, I can see y'all. Hey y'all. Ooh, getting older ain't no joke, okay? It's not for the weak of heart. Oh my goodness, I can see y'all clearly. Oh, I was right. Okay, I did read the name. Hey y'all, hey, how y'all doing? I'm sorry, I'm gonna act right. Everybody don't know me, so I'm gonna be good. Okay, I'm gonna act right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so forgiving those who made me feel small. And so, because I was brought up in that sort of an environment, I didn't feel that I had much of a voice. I didn't feel I had much of a say, if you will. And so, carrying that through my life, that was one of the things that made it difficult for me when working for other people, because anyone that was in authority over me, I just assumed they were always right. But anyway, so God freed me from that real good. And so prayerfully tonight will free you if this is a problem that you do have. All old people are not wise. Everyone in authority does not have your best interest at heart. And you can speak up for yourself and do the things that you need to do when you are operating in a God made progression, because heaven will cover you. You have that full coverage insurance. You have that ability to know that if God be for you, who can be against you? And this was one of the things that over the course of time, it didn't happen overnight. But what I began to realize is that I held a lot of anger towards people that I considered to be in authority because of what I assumed that they had done to me, because of the things that they had said. So, for example, I'll never forget as far as like my intellectual ability. And so, for the longest time, I did not feel smart. I did not feel very, how can I put it, as astute as other people. Because growing up, the teachers that were in authority, because I have an older sister, and so of course at that time all of my siblings, we all went to the same school. We pretty much had the same teachers, and so people will compare you one to another. And so my teachers did it, my mom did it. So it was just like a normal course of events. But the problem was is that if you do not realize the makeup of the person that you are doing these things to. See, some people have the personality that can handle those things and they don't care what anybody says. I'm going to do my own thing. But if you have conditioned someone to believe the things that I was taught to believe, then that person can really be damaged by that. And that was one of the things that happened to me. And because I looked at my teachers as being in authority, because I looked at those that were older than me being in authority, I took what they said as law. And instead of listening to myself and listening to what God had for me, I am following what they are saying. And one of the things that was very damaging for me was that my sister and I were 5 years apart. And so one of the things was is that like the teachers that we had in the school that we went to, they were pretty much there for years. So they were able to a lot of times they taught like whole families, okay, like all of the siblings. And so by the time, like if you had like a really smart sibling, okay, my sister was like uber smart. She was just like crazy smart, like Miss 4.0, 5.0, just off the charts. And so, in following in her footsteps, the teacher would compare me to her. Well, you're smart, but you're not as smart as your sister. Oh, okay. Your sister did better in math than you did. And my mom would also do that too. And so instead of like we have photo albums, and well, we laugh about this now, but my mom, like you would expect like a few of our photo albums, you would expect to open them and see like pictures. But my mom actually had a photo album with all of our report cards. Like I can literally go in there because I have some of the photo albums here. I could literally go into that photo album and pull up like my report card, my sister's report card, and my brother's report card. And that's what my mom would do every year. She would look at what I was doing at this certain age, and then she would look at what my sister was doing at a certain age, and then she would compare us. That was very damaging. That was very damaging. And so it was instances like that that kept diminishing me. And so at a certain point, I just stopped trying. I just stopped trying in school. I just stopped trying because at that point, I felt like no matter what I did, I was never going to be able to measure up academically to what my sister had done. So I even tried. But see, over the course of time, that attitude was really destroying me. And this is what God had to teach me. God had to really break me out of that perceived limitation and help me to realize just how smart I am. I'm pretty daggone smart. I am smart. I am smarterish. As Pasha will say, I don't even know if she's on here, but I am pretty smarterish. But I had to own that on my own. I am good with money. I can have powerful friendships. These are the things that I had to teach myself over time because for so long I had absorbed the perceptions of others that I diminished who God had created me to be. At one point, I used to be really flaky with like friendships and stuff. And I would hear it all the time. You're just not a very good friend. You're just not responsive. You're just not this. You're not. And I started to believe that. And that would make me feel small, like, well, maybe I'm just not reliable. Maybe I'm not this. I am a very good friend. But what God had to help me to realize is that I am not a very good friend to those people who diminish me. I am not very good in relationships that make me feel small. So I had to really do a lot of forgiveness work around these various scenarios so that I could free myself with God's help and assistance and guidance to rise higher than my perceived limitations. So I challenge each and every one of you on this live tonight and those who will catch the replay. Where are you shrinking because you have listened to those people that make you feel small? Is it in your parenting? Is it in your finances? Have you given up on certain things because of the things that you've heard? Is it your health? I know people that have like given up on their health because they would say stuff. I'm like, if you don't stop, as I was, people always be calling me big boned and I'm just thick and I'm built just like my mama them and I'm always gonna have this and this just runs in the family. Now that's the one that gets me. Just because it runs in your family does not mean it can't stop with you. Anything that is requiring you to shrink back and not expand and be the truth of who God has created you to be. I challenge you to challenge that thing. Who or what has made you feel small? Another thing, this is one of the reasons why I personally want everyone who chooses to do your own thing as it relates to identifying what's in your hands and turning that into your empire, whatever your empire looks like, whatever your kingdom looks like. Because once you begin to take control of the gifts that God has given you, anything that anyone has told you about who they think you are, it goes away. And this is why I am so excited to have like a day gig right now and the 1212 community work because I'm running like a dual operating system. And when you allow yourself to expand and to be the truth of who you are, then whatever the world tells you is irrelevant. And so, for example, the day gig that I have, one of the things we had a new system. They purchased a new accounting system. So we all had to learn a new system. So we've had some bumps and bruises along the way, but because it's a new system, I ask a lot of questions and I'm a little hesitant in doing things because I don't want to have to redo a lot of stuff if I do it wrong or whatever. So before God has allowed me to do this work with the 1212 community and to grow this aspect of my life and this aspect of my personality, I would identify with whatever my job said about me. And my last review that I had, one of the comments that was made was that they needed me to become more confident in my skill set because I didn't portray the confidence that they thought that I should portray. I laugh because they have no idea of who I am as it relates to confidence. And it was funny that that came up in my review because nobody knew at work, but the conference that we had was confidence. So that was just like a God wink, if you will, that heaven is definitely speaking in my life. So allow yourself tonight, this day, if you will, to live as big as heaven will allow you to live. How much can you learn? How much can you grow? How healthy can you be? How powerful can you be? How vocal can you be? How smart can you be? How good of a friend can you be? How good of a mother can you be? How good of a father can you be? How good can you be beyond the restrictions that others have placed on you? I literally amaze myself every day. Yes, I toot, toot, toot my own horn. I pat myself on the back all the time. I'm constantly asking heaven for approval. Like, God, was that good? That was good. I was like, yes, that was good. Thank you. If God says I did good, I don't care what nobody says. And you have to be the same way. If God says you can do it, that's all you need. In this work that we do in this community, it's very interesting because oh my gosh, I have crossed paths with so many people. And I know it is surprising. It's a shocker, but not everyone loves Alicia Johnson as much as Alicia Johnson loves Alicia Johnson. And that's okay because I am so beyond that. And you have to be beyond that too. No one at this point in life should diminish you. Every room that you walk into, you should be like, let's take Pam, for example. When Pamela walks into a room, she should walk into a room saying, everybody in this room loves some Pamela Adams. Oh my gosh, people love me. Whether or not people feel that way about her, it don't matter. Who's going to prove you wrong? This is your opportunity in your life, as what Rihanna says, shine bright like a diamond. This is your opportunity to shine, to be the best of who God has created you to be without feeling bad about it. I no longer feel bad about the advances that heaven is allowing me to make because I know personally, without a doubt, that everyone has the opportunity to do the same thing. And by the same thing, I don't mean the identical work that I'm doing. I mean to be as brilliant as heaven will allow you to be doing the work that God has given you to do. We should all be very proud of the work that heaven has given us. Not proud to the point of arrogance, not proud to the point where you can't learn anything, not proud to the point where you don't listen to other people, but proud of the effort that you have taken. Proud of the fact that you have moved beyond your perceived limitations. Proud of the fact that no, I'm not where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. Proud of the efforts that you have made. So, for all of those people who have made you feel small, all of those people who have diminished your confidence, all of those people who have forced you in some capacity to shrink down, let it go. Let it go. And once I started to forgiving my mother, forgiving my teachers, forgiving those people that made the smart comments, forgiving those people who made me feel less than, then God gave me the confidence and the ability to turn that around and to cancel all of that negative by allowing me to live such a big life that I, in turn, now can increase and elevate others. You can only rise as high as you allow someone else to go. So if you are constantly focused on the things and the people that diminished you, then you will not be able to have the capacity to expand and to promote other people. So tonight, think about that. How is hanging on to the feeling of restriction limiting you from helping someone else? So, y'all have fun with this tonight. And prayerfully, as you drift off to sleep, as heaven begins to download any of the, things will probably come up from like when you were 4 or 5 years old, 7 or 8 years old, 9 or 10 years old. And if heaven allows it to surface, heaven is allowing that to be represented to you so that you can release it. So don't sit there, oh, I wonder why this person is coming up. The work that we do in this community is powerful. Someone told me one time, it's like, you know what? This work is like on a time release formula. I know you said that like 6 months ago, but I just now got it. So you may not get it all tonight, but over the next few days or the next few weeks or even the next few months, heaven is going to allow things to resurface so that you can deal with it thoroughly. So tonight, my prayer for each and every one of you is that heaven bombards you with all of the remembering that you need to do of all of the people that made you feel less than, and you release them with love. Because once they are released and truly released, you can rise as high as heaven is requiring you to go. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight, or with me. We are with everybody. Everybody's here. I see y'all over there. And if you are new here, then please subscribe to the channel so that you can keep track of all of the things that we'll be doing here live. And I want to thank you for your continued support. And I want to thank you for doing the work that you need to do in order to rise higher, to be truthfully who God has created you to be. So at the end of this 30-day process, I want you to pat yourself on the back. And as Snoop Dogg says, I want to thank me. You stand in the mirror at the end of this, I want to thank me for showing up every day. I want to thank me for doing this work every night. I want to thank me. It was funny. I know he was coming from maybe a worldly perspective, but that thing was funny to me. But at the end of this, I want you to thank yourself for doing the forgiveness work. Thank yourself for sticking with it. Thank yourself for being everything that God has created you to be. The older that I get, the more that I realize I've wasted a lot of time. I've wasted a lot of time on people that have very little significance in the overarching assignment that God has given me. How much time have you wasted on the insignificant things in life and you know that you have so much more to do. So I double dog dare y'all to let one more day go or of you living less than the truth of who God has created you to be. All right, everybody. For those who know me, y'all know I could go for a whole hour and a half or whatever, and we'd be like on here all night. But I won't do that because I'm gonna act right. So y'all have a good one. Sweet dreams, and I will see y'all tomorrow. And don't forget to subscribe so that you can keep track of everything that we're doing. Sweet dreams, and be good tomorrow. Act right, okay? Act right. And I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel. Love you all.